What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome back to the Dapper Snapper Gaming channel, and welcome back to How Do I Want to Do This? This is our series where we take a look at all playable options available to players in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, then we rank them on a scale of 1 to 10 and either build them or fix them depending on how they rank. Now today we finish up our talks on the Conjuration Wizard, the one that seeks to make a lot of friends come out of nowhere and also teleport around everywhere, which is cool. Unfortunately, the ranking didn't go exactly as planned, and that is of course up in the icon above for you to check out. And today we're going to be working on making it a little bit more thematically consistent. It's not necessarily that it's bad, it just needs some retheming, and that's what we're doing today. But before we do that, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already. We are very close to our goal of 5,000 subscribers by the end of this year, but of course I need your help for this one final push. We're starting to fall behind a little bit, but of course I know we can do it with your help. Share the video with your friends, and of course click the bell so you're notified when new videos are uploaded. Of course, another great way to support this channel is by joining down below. All of my subclass guides are going to be down below, as well as all of my subclass fix guides. That will be down below. The one for this video is already up on the drive for you to check out, so make sure to become a member and check all of that out. And of course, at higher tiers, there are some other amazing benefits as well. So like we said on Wednesday when we talked about this, it's not necessarily that this is a bad subclass. I don't think that at all. I just think that it is a little out of order, and I think that there are a few things that they just didn't think are okay to do because this was done so early. But I think we can use some more modern things to learn on this and make a classic just a little bit better, and in the same time a little bit more thematically consistent, so that we can properly focus on both the teleportation aspect and really even more so the conjuration of help aspect, which really kind of falls by the wayside in a lot of ways. So we're going to do that right after a word from our sponsor. If you are looking for a great gift this upcoming Christmas season, then the Wandering Tavern by Homie and the Dude is the perfect one for the TTRPG lover. This system agnostic setting features 15 floors and 23 unique locations for you to explore on a massive airship. Interact with the various factions to learn all of the mysteries held within this vessel. Learn recipes for unique benefits and even compete in a bake-off. If you like the work of Studio Ghibli, then this is absolutely the one for you. Learn more with the link below and use code DAPPER10 to receive 10% off at checkout. And of course, by doing so, you will be supporting my channel. Thank you again to Homie and the Dude for supporting the channel, and let's get back to the video. So like always with these videos, it's going to be more like a podcast. There's not going to be anything on the screen except for me, so feel free to put in some headphones or put this on a background tab and just listen to it, that kind of thing, but nothing exciting on the screen. Of course, if you want to follow along, that is what becoming a member is for. So we start off at 2nd level. Conjuration Savant is not changing. There's no reason to make any changes for that because it is the same across all of your OG wizards, so that's no issues there. Minor Conjuration is where we see our first change though, and so I'm going to actually somewhat nerf the feature now, but it will scale beyond what it could before. And so right now what we're going to do is you still have to create it within 10 feet of you. It has to be near you, but the object has to be tiny right now. It cannot be any larger than size tiny. It also cannot be worth more than 20 times our wizard level in gold pieces, so you got to be careful with that. But I think that is a really good way of doing this. Of course, that is being borrowed from the Creation Bard, but again, I think the Creation Bard did that really well, and I'll put that up in the iCard above for you to check out if you've not seen my ranking of the Creation Bard. It's really cool. Now, the other thing was the object is visibly magical and radiates dim light. I personally don't like that. I think it's bad, but for balancing purposes, I'm going to leave it. I just think that it's a little tricky on this to be able to just make whatever. I think it might make it a little bit too much, and so we're gonna leave the little glow on it, and it's fine. Where this changes though is that the size of the items that we can create with this feature are going to increase by categories as we level up though. At 6th level, we can now make small things. We can make medium at level 10, and at 14th we can now make large. Of course, we are not going to get to the level that the Creation Bard is going to get. The Creation Bard gets huge, but honestly, we're a wizard. I think it'll be fine. I don't think we can complain too much about not being able to make a huge object, and I think that we also don't want to step on the toes too much of the Creation Bard. I just think that scaling is warranted here, and we already have a ton of wizard stuff, and if you really need it to be size huge, then you've got an entire enlarge reduce, and you can make it work. But I think that this is a great way of doing that. And of course, we keep the same restriction on it lasts for an hour unless it takes or deals damage, that kind of thing. At 6th level, we now are going to be taking the 14th level feature and moving it to here. And I think that that is a little bit more effective and a little bit more useful, and actually encourages us to summon creatures, which is kind of one of the main points of Conjuration, right? And so we've kind of made this a little bit less good for now, but again, we're going to have scaling here. So now any creature that we summon with a Conjuration spell is going to have 10 temporary hit points. That number is going to increase when we hit certain levels. So at level 10, we're going to have 20 temporary hit points, and at 14, we're going to have 30 temporary hit points. That seems like the best way to scale this, just because we now are going to be at the same power we would have been at level 14. However, we're getting a little bit of it just a little bit earlier, and it really encourages us to be using our Conjuration spells. It really encourages us to want to summon things, to want to play that playstyle, because that is not encouraged at all in the original version, because you don't get this until level 14, which is incredibly late. So this to me really shores that up and makes me want to actually conjure things and use my Conjuration spells for things other than just teleportation. Speaking of teleportation though, at level 10 we get Benign Transportation, and this is staying largely the same, except that it's becoming a bonus action instead of an action. I felt that it was fine if we're moving it to level 10 that it can become a bonus action. And so that's really the only difference. It's still 30 feet, you still can take somebody with you, and it's a long rest unless you cast a Conjuration spell at 1st level or higher. None of that has changed, so all good there. Finally, level 14 though, Focused Conjuration. This is where we see our largest change, at least in my opinion. This is our largest change. We've now moved our Focused Conjuration from 10th level to here, and we are now going to keep the part that you're used to, but we're also going to add to it. So with this, we can now, of course, continue concentrating on a spell, and it can't be broken and as a result of damage. That's all the same. However, in addition, if you are a creature that you have summoned or created with a Conjuration spell that you can see within 30 feet of you is about to take damage, you may use your reaction to switch places with the summon. So if you're about to take an attack, or if a summon is about to take an attack, you can swap places with that creature. And then whatever creature ends up now in the line of fire, that's who takes the attack, right? So this can be used to either save your skin, or it can be used to save a summon and you take the hit. It really depends on what you want to do. Most of the time, I imagine you're going to want to sacrifice your summon, because that's a lot easier to get back than hit points. And so this gives you that combination here. So now we are combining summoning and teleportation. And it gives us something to use on our reaction, which we've not done yet. So for all of those reasons, I think that this is kind of the perfect meld and the perfect way of creating an actual capstone feature, because it brings together all the things that we're supposed to be good at. And that's really the focus that I wanted to highlight in this fix, is looking at all of the aspects that make a Conjuration wizard the Conjuration wizard, and make those really shine. Because the last thing I want is for me to be able to go and play, let's say, a war wizard, and to just take a bunch of Conjuration spells and be a better Conjuration wizard than the Conjuration wizard, right? I don't want that to happen. I want the war wizard to be the best at what it does. I want the blade singer to be the best at what it does, and I want the Conjuration wizard to be the best at conjuring and doing the Conjuration things. And honestly, I just don't feel that the original way that it's written does that. It just doesn't. You could go a different route and still take these spells and be better. And so I wanted to fix that. And of course, once you use this feature, you can't do it again until you finish a long rest, or cast a Conjuration spell of 3rd level or higher. So very similar to what we have already seen, but I think that is necessary. And again, it encourages you to blow through your spell slots on Conjuration spells, and that is the really, really important thing. And I think that is really what solidifies what we want this subclass to be, and for us to be able to really shine in that avenue. So that is our new way of doing the Conjuration wizard. I think it's really good, and I think that it bumps this up to like the 9.5 territory, where I think that it belongs. I don't think this was a bad subclass to begin with. I just think it was a little confused, and I think that it just didn't do what it wanted to do all that great, and it was just kind of stuck in the OG era, the I came out in 2014 era, and that's fine. So I think that I think this is a lot better. So let me know down in the comments what you think. I believe next week we're going on to Divination. I know that's a lot of people's favorite, and it's also banned by a lot of people. So we'll just see if it warrants that, and we'll just keep on trucking through once we finish all of this wizard stuff. Of course, we're moving on to 2024, and man, that's going to be a ton of fun. So until next time, stay safe out there, stay healthy. We'll see you later. Bye bye.